That's gonna haunt me forever, and you guys are gonna let me forget about it. Hello, welcome back to Vintage Splendor. I'm Annette, and today we are going to talk about the latest Chloé fashion show. I am obsessed. I know obsessed is an overused word, but literally I loved everything. The ruffles, the lace, the silk, the feminine bohemian vibes. I am here for it, and it proved one thing that we know is true. If you are a thrifter and vintage shopper, you know that it is one of the easiest aesthetics to thrift and to buy secondhand, and you probably have a lot of the key pieces in your closet. So today I'm going to show you some inspo from the Runway show, because that's always so much fun to do. And then I'm going to talk about the key elements of getting that signature Chloé look. And then of course we're going to go in my closet because I have so many Chloé-esque pieces. I can't wait to style them for you, and then we're just going to have some fun with it. So let's get started. Chloé is all about the effortless, very chic 70s bohemian vibes. I think we all know that look when we see it, but I made specific notes about how to get the key elements of her latest show, and I think just overall aesthetic, because I think when we're out thrifting or if you're shopping online for secondhand, it's really good to know what to look for so that you could really nail that look. Okay, so the first one I would say is of course the luxe bohemian silhouette, and that is all about like unstructured dresses. Think prairie dresses, think slip dresses, very easy breezy. I love some pieces from Gunny Sacks or just slip dresses from the 1930s or from the 1990s. You want something that has ruffles, that has lace, that has silk. I also think that high-waisted flare or wide leg pants, and this is where the 70s element comes in. You want something that is not too fitted. It's like, again, it's very comfortable. It's an effortless look, and when you are looking for those pants, look for suede, leather, or denim. And then again, relaxed tailoring. So look for blazers in like a linen or a cotton that are just like a little unstructured, like just easy to throw on. And then the key is that I put down here is looking undone yet intentional. You want it to just look easy, but that you thought about it. Okay, so the next key element is earthy neutral tones. This was big for this specific Runway show, and I think just overall, Chloé doesn't do a lot of prints, but she pulls together these earth and neutral tones so well so that they look really beautiful and they don't look boring. So you want to bring together the camel, the ivory, the warm browns, some blues. You want to bring in some olive green. Just all of those pieces work really well together, and think of it as like a non-boring capsule, but the Chloé vibe. When you're looking for pieces to fit the Chloé vibe, look for crochet, silk, buttery leather. You want it to be soft, so like just visually, but also like you want to feel it to make sure that it is soft. I think suede is really great. Linen, again, pieces that have some structure but they're really effortless. If you are shopping in person, touch the material. You want it to feel soft. You want it to be very luxe, because if it looks and feels luxe, the outfit is going to be that much more elevated, and again, it's going to give you that Chloé vibe. A key part of the Chloé look is texture. I mentioned she doesn't do a lot of prints, but it's the texture, and bringing all of those different textures together is what really elevates it. So you want to touch and make sure that it is a really great high quality piece, so the leather is really soft, that the crochet and the lace is just really beautiful, and really like the fine details. And that's what you want to look at when you are thrifting in person. Make sure you feel and you're like visually inspecting it, because if it looks and feels elevated, it is going to look elevated when you pull it all together. The last, I think, key element, which I think you all know what it's going to be, it's all about iconic accessories and statement details. So we're thinking about fringed and woven details, whether it is a saddle bag that has those fringe details or just a classic Coach bag. Yes, if you're going to shop for Coach, for Chloe, but it's like really great leather handbags. You want knee-high leather boots, suede boots, strappy sandals. Saw a lot of round toe, square toe in this current season. But again, it's like you don't have to go out and buy something new. Let's say you have pointy toe boots, but they're like suede and then they fit the vibe. It's still gonna work. And then you want delicate scarves tied in your hair, just loosely around your neck, and then layered gold jewelry. My favorite. I feel like every look that I ever talk about is all about layering. Really great hoops, medallion necklaces, belts, bangles. So you really want to bring in those pieces. Again, they add that feminine and luxe vibe that's very 70s and very Chloe. I have to remember taking off my glasses when I'm not looking at a screen. Okay, now it's my favorite part, which I'm going to go into my closet and I'm going to try on some of my favorite pieces to recreate some of my favorite looks. So some of the looks I think I can nail and like dead on. Some of them it's going to be a combination of aesthetics, and then some of it is just going to be me taking these key elements that I just told you about and then finding them in my closet and pulling them together into a look. Like, I love this vibe because even though I'm not a minimalist, I don't like to usually do neutral looks. I feel like when I do the Chloe aesthetic, I can embrace the world of beige. Let's go in the closet. Okay, this is where the magic happens. And for all of you who thought I had too many slip dresses, this is where I'm going to prove you wrong. I'm just kidding. I think all of you thought that like I should add to my collection. So I have so many lacy, silky pieces. So I think one of the outfits I'm going to do is probably just start with one that I think I'm just inspired by. It's not a copy of a specific look, but I am going to style this antique. This is French silk little undergarment. It has the shorts and then it has the skirt. I bought this in Provence. So what I want to do with this is I'm going to definitely style it with either my suede or leather boots. I want to do a belt at the hips, and then I want to throw something on over it because Chloe is all about layers, and I think I have some key pieces. I mean, I could do this fringed silk shawl. Remember when I tried this on backwards at Too Many Jackets and I was like, I need it. Well, the very next day I thrifted this. So manifestation works, but I digress. So let's see. I think I'm actually going to try adding this cute little cropped little like nighty jacket, bedroom jacket over this. I feel like this is definitely giving the Chloe vibes, and then I just need to add the leather moment, probably a handbag, and then I want to do some like very simple jewelry for this look. So un momento. I think I'm gonna grab a belt. I'm thinking I'm gonna do a leather belt, just to have this hang at the hips a little bit. Love this one, Streets Ahead, and this is going to help just shorten the length of this little slip dress romper situation so that I don't look so frumpy. This is what happens when you're vertically challenged. A lot of things tend to be a little too long, and I want this belt to be loose. Again, it's not about super tight, constrictive styles. It's about it being easy breezy. Wearing lifting boob tapes, so we're gonna try to hide that for a moment. But if you've ever tried to wear those before you get it, I don't know, I'll have to figure out the styling. So I'm thinking I'm either gonna do these brown round toe boots. These are leather. I might actually do these instead of the suede, which is what I was thinking I was gonna go with, because the suede is over the knee. I feel like this might be a little bit more Chloe vibes. No, or do we want to try to do, I don't know, let me look in the mirror and decide what I'm going to do. I think I do actually like the leather boots better. And then I want to add the right jewelry and then grab a bag, and then I think this look is done. And this is just the one that I'm inspired by Chloe in general. It's not copying a specific look. It's just what I like. And I just realized the one leather bucket bag I have is getting repaired. So we're going to use our imagination. But I think what I could do is, in that situation, we've got like, I have this like Dooney and Burke bag. You know, if you thrift something like this, that's Coach, or even not even a brand, that's like definitely the vibe that you want for Chloe. I think you could even do something that's woven. I don't know, I could even do something. Let me see, what bags do I have? That moment when you feel like you have no bags, even though you know you have a ton. Like something really cool, earthy. I'm gonna go outside and like assess the situation and then add some jewelry. I'm taking off my turquoise earrings, love them, but they're not the vibe. I'm actually gonna swap them out for my gold hoops. Really easy, dainty earrings, but they're still making a statement because they're very 70s. And then as for the necklace, I'm gonna take off this Givenchy. It's like a little too, I think, big for this particular look. It might work for another Chloe look. So an idea that I had is I have this beautiful cameo pin. Like with the right chain, this would be really, really pretty. Again, like she uses a lot of more medallions, but I think it's cool to get inspired and then add in your own elements to it. This is like a really pretty vintage one that my mom picked up for me. I think I do have a medallion necklace. I have this one. And I don't love necklaces that are super long and hang low, but I think for this particular look, I'm gonna lean into that vibe, and instead of double kind of knotting this, I'm just gonna do one and just have it hang down. Okay, I love this. I feel like this is something that we would have seen on the runway show, or maybe, you know, they'll invite me one of these years and I can sit front row in my vintage Chloe inspired look and, you know, steal the moment. No, I'm loving this one. This outfit has all the key elements that I mentioned at the early part of this video. That's why it works. It's a lot of luxe like textures, really great statement pieces, and then of course like the iconic statement pieces are the like vintage sleepwear as outerwear. So we've got the bedroom jacket, the 90s, and then the leather boots. Just works. And then of course there's a lot of different decades that I've thrown in together into one outfit. As long as it has a point of view, it is going to work. So remember that when you go into your closet. The next look I'm going to style is inspired by this specific look from the runway. Okay, this next look, I love that it has like the lace top with the silky skirt. So I recently thrifted this, or did I buy it at the flea market? Can't remember. I think Chloe's saying at the flea market. I love this. I feel like this color we saw on the runway, but what I'm going to do with this slip dress is I want to style it as a top, and I'm thinking of trying to style it with this gunny sack skirt. I mean, is this not Chloe? It has the lace, it has the really pretty gauzy cotton little ruffle detail moment. I'm going to see how this works, but the other option I have is trying to style it over another slip dress, and we're gonna see which one is gonna look better. Good memento. I'm gonna put on the gunny sack skirt first because it's like a skirt and dress moment, which is what it is in the video, or at least in the runway show, even though the original inspo is a silk dress. Let me just see if I can do this. Okay, I'm not mad about this, but I feel like this is what the skirt would work better, I think, with a ruffled cropped top and maybe the shawl over it as a separate outfit. I'm gonna stay true to the original inspo for this one, because if you remember, I put away all of my springy stuff in bins. We're not gonna unpack right now. We could do that another day. Okay, so this slip, okay, I think it's just maxi enough. I wasn't sure. I thought it was going to be a little too short, but I'm going to slip it on under this, and then I'm going to use probably a chain or kind of like a fringe leather belt that I have. I'm already thinking ahead to cinch up the dress as the top layer and turn it into a top. Okay, Give me a minute. I loosened the straps on the white slip dress a lot, so this could be as long as possible. And now I'm gonna just grab a belt, and then I'm gonna try to zhuzh this into a top. And again, I want it to like be easy breezy moment. I've got a gold chain belt, but I think I'm gonna try to do this leather woven fringe belt. And a funny story, Harley borrowed this belt from me for a Halloween costume. She was Athena, the goddess, and she needed something that was the vibe. So when your mom has all of the outfits, you don't have to buy a costume. You just shop her closet. Okay, so this is where I think zhuzhing is really, really, really important. And I don't want, I'm not aiming for perfection. Again, I want it to be effortless and I want it to look cool. I like the drapiness. I like that it's going to be a little kind of funky looking. And let me see how I can get this to, I like it better when it's just a little bit more like this as opposed to like straight across. So let me just fix this part. The great thing is when you do add a belt, you can actually like hide some of the imperfections, and then it just gives it really nice shape. This is really cute. Just wish I'd steamed this bottom layer, but that's okay. I mentioned there's a lot of round toe ballet flats in the Runway show, a lot of leather boots. So a couple of options I have. I have these lace ballet flats. I also have these leather espadrilles that are round toe, and I love that they wrap around the ankle. So I'm just going to try both of these on, and then I want to throw on my cropped little Sherpa jacket because we did see a lot of fur elements, and I think that's going to really pull this look together. Ooh. Let me try on the jacket and then see which one I like better. I feel like this looks really great on the models because they're 7 feet tall. So as somebody who's a little bit more petite, I'm like craving that height that I would get from boots. But we're gonna stay true to the inspo. So I think the leather espadrilles work better with this moment. So I'm just gonna put on the other pair. And then the only thing I wanna add is like some gold chain. And I think I have the right one for this outfit. I feel like you could even do, did we digress for a moment? I'm gonna come back to the look. Don't worry. If I was going out with my friends, I would just throw this on, and then I could probably do platforms like this, and it's still Chloé vibes, but a little bit more elevated. I feel like this is like your grandma kind of throwing on all of her crazy pieces, wanting to go out to brunch with you, and I'm here for it. Okay, back to the OG look. Necklace I'm gonna add is a little bit more, I would say, gaudy than Chloé does. It's this cool snake necklace that you can wrap around a lot. It has a magnetic closure, but what I want to do is just maybe do one wrap around the neck and then just have it hang down, because Chloé did use a lot of longer necklaces and just kind of moments that were just really drapey, but also necklaces that just kind of came down and it was like another layer. Okay, so this is the outfit. I feel like I need to be taller for this outfit. I think if I were 6 feet tall, this outfit would work really, really well. I think for somebody my size, I need it to be less puffy and like more heels, and then like probably a daintier piece. But let's take this off. And this is why we try on outfits, because then you figure out what works for you and what doesn't. And sometimes trying to do the exact thing that you see on the runway doesn't necessarily work for you. I feel like taking off the sweater definitely works a little bit better. I think I could wear this just like on a summer day. This is so easy. Like imagine giant basket bag. I have a market bag. Let me go get it. I see it right here. It's all my crap. Okay, we've got my farmer's market bag from Provence. can't believe I brought this back on the plane with me. But it was like $5 at the market, guys, and I just filled it up with stuff. But I like this outfit. Started with the Runway inspo, then ended with this vibe, and I like it. For this next look, I want to combine like the iconic Chloé look, which is the 70s inspired wide leg pants, but with a leather moment. I don't have wide leg leather pants, but I do have these really great olive green leather, like bloomer inspired pants. And bloomers are really big this runway in so many different collections. So I think with this, I'm gonna do a teddy. It's a lace one, it's Dior. And then I want to add that like really frilly, lacy, feminine moment. So this is the teddy. I think this is gonna look really good. And then I think as a layering piece, I want to add this one. There was a lot of light blue. This is like just a robe that you would wear over a slip dress, but I think will look fab. I know this is gonna look good over jeans and like a lacy top, but I want to try it with the leather. I love the direction this is going in so far. These pants a little bit more snug than Chloé usually is, but you know, I'm a perimenopausal woman in her, you know, mid 40s, so this is what we got to deal with. So I just wanted to show this piece again. I'm so glad I bought this when I saw it at the thrift store. It's like such a great layering piece, so I think this would look great. I even have one that is like a cotton knit one, great for layering. And I'm gonna put this on. Originally I was thinking I was gonna do my Ranto ballet flats, but we saw how flats worked for me in the last look, and I think I'm gonna do my gray boots, but I don't know how those are gonna look. So I need to look at this outfit together because I'm styling this in real time and we are going through the emotions and the planning and everything all together. Obviously sometimes like vibes need to mesh well, right? These are Chloé, but these are not going to go with leather. Denim, yes. But we're going to try these gray boots. These are the most uncomfortable boots ever. They're just, at this point, I just keep them. I just keep them for styling. Well, that's going to haunt me forever, and you guys are going to let me forget about it. Okay, let's see what this looks like. I like the boots. I like the boots with this outfit. I like that. I'm not loving this as a layering piece, so I think I'm going to do maybe the boots with this, and then maybe add this little shawl as the final touch because I don't want to again like compromise like what I feel comfortable in and what I love with what I saw as the inspo. Again, like that's what inspired me, but I want to feel like me and I want to feel really good. How are we liking this? Oh yeah, I love this. So, like this is my version of the Chloé runway show. Let me just grab the other boots. Meet you outside. I added this raffia headband. It's vintage from the 50s. I figured I need to add just another statement piece that is a net but brings in that natural element that is very Chloé. I love this look. I feel like this is such an easy look for going out to dinner, brunch with the girls, whatever vibe, or even Trader Joe's, as I always like to say. But I love that I was able to pull pieces that I have in my closet that are still pulling in the elements, like the leather, it's the high waist, it's the lacy moment, even though the Dior teddy is a little bit darker in tone than what she used. I still think it's staying true to her aesthetic. And then I love that I was able to add my grandma's shawl into this look. I feel like anytime I'm able to add a piece from my mom or from my grandma's closet, I'm just like, yes. So this is the final look. Which is your favorite? I need to know, which is your favorite? And I know you guys are going to say the funniest moment is when my button busted open. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed today's video. I always love getting inspired by what I see on the runway and then bringing it home truly, and then being able to play with it in my closet and then giving you ideas and inspiration. Would love to know if there is a specific designer that you feel is really easy for you to emulate utilizing your thrifted and vintage wardrobe. Also, let me know which look you liked the best that I styled today, and if you want to see any other content, let me know in the comments below. I'm Annette and I have a video every Friday, so be sure to like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you next week.